Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. And I need to reset this. I did have a nice weekend. Lady Boomer and I hung out all weekend, doing a fair amount of day drinking, hanging out at our favorite brunch spot, and we ended up we met a couple people at the bar, and we just hung out and had Bloody Marys all afternoon yesterday, and then I came back for the premiere of my new video. By the way, I have a new video out. Watch that. It's a challenge to some YouTubers who've been getting a lot of hits because of our friend King Randall, and so I want to encourage some people to, if they're gonna make some money off of King Randall, I hope they donate some money to King Randall. I certainly encourage that. And if you don't know about King Randall, go back and watch my stream from Friday, or just my new video that I have out. It's about 8 or 9 minutes long. It's not a long one, so go check that out. And we're just gonna get caught up from the weekend. Oh, but the breaking news right now is the world's largest barge is finally free. We'll talk about that and lots more after the intro. Play the intro, please. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. And stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is the 29th of March, 2021, a Monday, and this is the 561st episode of the Morning Night Live. And I'm so glad you're here to join me. A lot of people are already here, and if you like what we do during the show, do that stuff that you do when you like videos and live streams and stuff. There's a like button down there. There's you can share it. You can share that now if you already know you like me, and then you can also support the channel. And sometimes when you support the channel, I go out and support other things. And for example, I took everything we made from all the generous super chats from Friday when we were talking about King Randall's program down in Albany, Georgia. I donated all of those Streamlabs and super chats, the net, to King Randall's organization, and I added a few extra bucks just to make it a round number. And so we ended up donating $50 to the X for Boys program in Albany, Georgia. And I really I'm kind of excited about it. I mean, it's funny because I don't know the workings of it. I don't even know if it's tax deductible. I don't know anything other than I know the guy's doing good work, and there's been a lot of news coverage about him down in Georgia. I know this weekend, the boys that he has in the program right now, they went to I don't know if it was an auto repair shop or whatever, and they went and did oil changes. So, he's been teaching them to do practical things with, like just basic automotive work, brakes, oil changes, things like that. And home repairs and all kinds of practical things, right? So this weekend they went and they did a marathon oil change setup where they were going to see how many oil changes they could do in one day. And they were trying to break the record for that area, which is 108. They got to 90, and so it's pretty amazing doing 90 oil changes in one day. And then I saw they had some pictures on Twitter where they went to Six Flags over Georgia to celebrate that. So it sounded pretty cool. But anyway, also, here, let me say the hellos and then we'll get into the news, because I want to, I got quite a few tabs open and I want to see how much I can get through today. Now, I'm not sure if this is correct. Oh, it must be. Yes, Uncle Stepdad, who was first. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, my gosh. See, now I got to tell you, sometimes I am not 100% with it. As you may know, I probably need a producer to remind me of things or have things set up. And sometimes when you want to go and say you were first in the chat, I have to have the bell ready. Uncle Stepdad, hopefully this bell works. Yeah, you get the bell because you were first in the chat today. Also, good morning, Becca Fairley. Thank you for tweeting out the show like you always do. Also, Maddie, same thing. Maddie always tweets out the show for me. I really appreciate that. Good morning, GunFox61, the ever-present administrator of the PDawgKnight Channel Discord server. Thank you, sir. Also, good morning, Ronan. That's actually for Maddie and Ronan. All my truckers get the now because I added that horn just for my trucker friends, the guys who drive. I shouldn't say just the guys. There's some gals too who drive, but all y'all who drive and make the country work, I do appreciate y'all. All right. Also, good morning, Jonathan Peterson, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, Sapphire Dragon, ready for the you enjoy the smooth jazz. I got to change that. I got to change it. I still have the winter standby and the winter outros and stuff like that. I did do some. I did get some footage for my next outro. If you've been around the channel long enough, you probably could guess what it might be, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to want to spring it on you one of these days. Also, good morning to Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Also, good morning, my friend from down under, Richo. How you doing? Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Good morning, Jaded Emerald, Tyler F, TC Ball, Tarai Deos, Donatello Slapafellow, one of my favorite names on the internet. Nice to see you back. I haven't seen you around for a while. I'm glad you're back. Also, good morning to Somnambule Nation, who also always tweets out the show. I greatly appreciate that. Good morning to Zach Osborne, Black Hebrew Israelite. That's right. Also, good morning to Attack Alpaca. Good morning, Anil N. Good morning. Oh, I said Select a Boy already. How about James PFP? What's up? Good morning, Sean DW. Let's see. I'm scrolling down here. Check your logic. How you doing? Nice to see you in the show early, every once in a while, because I know your schedule doesn't always permit. Also, good morning. Katie did skate. It's Katie with the new Abby. Well, the new Abby's been there for a while, but anyway, glad to see you. Also, Hig, and I'm sure Cindy's back there in the home base down in Florida. Good morning to Chicago Mike. There's Cindy also. Good morning, Cindy Rochelle. Good morning, Cultist 4. And am I getting there? I should be close. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. Good morning, Amy in Connecticut. Connect I Cut. That's how I always remembered how to spell it. Connect I Cut. And that's everyone who I can see so far. If you are new to the show or new here, please remember to subscribe and click the bell while you think about it. And also share that share. Oh, Justin Anderson. I didn't see you. I just noticed that I skipped you. I hope I didn't skip. Oh, and Scrappy Pirate. Hello. Nice to see you. Zan also. I must have missed some people. See, every once in a while when I do this, I scroll and the whole chat jumps. So I didn't mean to miss you. If you're new, like I said, if any of you are new here, hit that subscribe button and you will get notifications, or you can follow me on any of these social media up here. Oh, the one that's not up here, and when I change my graphics up here, I'll have CloudHub up there too. I'm on. If there's social media out there, I'm on it. Just look for PDawgKnight. You'll find me. I'm the only one. I kind of like Tigger. The wonderful thing about Tigger is the Tigger thing. The button is made of rubber. The button is made of string. The bouncy, fun. But something the most wonderful thing about Tigger is I'm the only one. Oh, I'm the only one. Good morning, Thomas Cleaver. I got you. Sup. I always got to make sure. I always have to look for Thomas. Thomas gets a little chippy if I don't say good morning. I just like mess with you. Anyway, also, hello, Cynical Lindsay. I see you came in too. All right, let's get started because we got a lot to do here. The first big news today. Oh, let me do some thank yous real quick. Thank you, Cynical Lindsay, Cindy Rochelle, Ranting Monkey. Let's see, Maddie Walker. Thank you, RVA Dar, Becca Fairley, and Somnambule Nation. All of you who tweeted out the show or retweeted one of the tweets of the tweets and so on of the tweets. I greatly appreciate it. If you got here before I fired up the machine, you might notice that I changed the name of the title to Your Papers, Please, because, well, here they go. They're talking about papers. So I'll get to that. Let me get to the breaking news, though. The breaking news is the ship is free after days of struggle. Salvage crews freed the giant container ship The mammoth cargo ship blocking the world's most vital maritime arteries was wrenched from the shoreline and finally set free on Monday, raising hopes that traffic could soon resume on the Suez Canal and limit the economic fallout from the disruption. My understanding is, and I don't know who in particular, but somebody was losing $400 million a day, or just it's $400 million a day in economic impact having that container ship sitting sideways in the Suez Canal. Pretty wild. PDawgKnight, Thomas Cleaver is a Kiwi, aka New Zealand, and you got to make sheep noises to him in response. Oh, well, I've never. Anyway, I did not know that. I got to turn my volume back up. Hey, thank you. This is Kyle, first sponsor of the show to the day. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do SuperChats through YouTube or Streamlabs, which leaves a little more money out of Susan's pocket and into mine. Thank you. This is Kyle. By the way, Kyle,
you are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Who says with the deuce, hello, chat people and P-Dawg. Well, hello to you too, Kyle. I am so glad you're here too. It's wonderful having you. So anyway, salvage teams working on land and water for 5 days and nights were ultimately assisted by forces more powerful than any machine rushed to the scene. The moon and the tides. Yes, the water rose. The tides came in and wenched that big ass giant ship out of the corners of whatever the hell that they got it stuck in. And because that ship is so huge. I think that is one of the largest cargo ships in the world. And so that bad boy getting stuck where it did does not help. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
With the 556 and Black Hebrew Israelite.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Who says George Floyd did kill himself? Oh.
That's right.
That man had 15 DL. What's DL? Of fentanyl in his system when 3 would do the job. Whatever that unit is. Ooh.
That's right.
The cops had a hand in assisting.
That's right.
All right. Well, are you watching opening arguments? I was thinking about doing that this morning. Opening arguments for that trial are today, and it's going to be, it's just going to be a shit show. It makes me nervous because my wife works down in Minneapolis. I mean, not necessarily in the line of fire of all the protests and stuff, but it's close enough. And I am just not happy about that. Now she's actually transferring to another division in her company, coming soon, but oh boy. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. I gotta turn that down. I don't need to hear that so loud. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. All right, Jesus Floyd, yeah, St. George. All right, big ass boat and how it got there, can't tell. 15 days stuck in the Suez Canal. Yeah, I'm telling you. So anyway, someone said something. Why didn't they? What did this say? Would they think they could have used a couple tugboats to free it? Well, they tried. I mean, I'm sure they had dozens of tugboats. It's just the way it got stuck. It was basically land. It was, what do you call it? It wasn't high centered, but it was landlocked. And it was wedged so tough that they pretty much had to wait for the tides. So, it just is what it is. Thank you, Thomas Cleaver. And by the way, Thomas Cleaver, with the most patriotic donation ever, 1776. And Thomas Cleaver with that.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
Thomas Cleaver says, FTG PDawgKnight, greater and a little angry, and Richo, the fag from the land down under. Okay, I deserve that. Thomas Cleaver, let me just tell you something, my brother. I think sheep are vital to the world. So I'm not when I do it, that doesn't mean that I don't know. That's not bad. I think sheep are important. I used to have some really nice wool sweaters, and I wouldn't have nice wool sweaters if it weren't for sheep. And I'm not, I am not knocking it at all. So there you go. Thank you so much for sponsoring the show. Did I give you this? Did I do this? You are the new Streamlabs Superstars Donor of the Day. I think I did do that. Did I do that? Anyway.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
There you go, Thomas Cleaver. Thank you very much. Anyway, but just as those tides rose and fell, optimism waxed and waned throughout the day on Monday as each bit of encouraging news was met with the words of caution. The stern, where the back of the ship was clearly free from land early Monday, but for hours until the ship was finally freed, it had remained uncertain if the ship's bow had truly been pulled from the mud and muck on the banks of the canal. Salvage crews had worked around a schedule largely dictated by the tides, working to make progress during the 6 hours it would take for the water to go from low point to high and then back again. With a full moon on Sunday, the following 24 hours it offered the best window to work, with a few extra inches of tidal flow providing a vital assist for the effort. So anyway, this article, the the archived article here, is here if you want to get more details. But let's see here. Concerns that salvage, let's see, long way around. Oh my gosh. So here's the thing. So let me give you an example of the economic impact of this. So with concerns that the salvage operation could take weeks, some ships decided not to wait, turning to take the long way around the southern tip of Africa, a voyage that could add weeks to the journey and add more than $26,000 a day in fuel costs, plus the insurance companies too. Also, I mean, the economic impact of that ship being wedged in there was like $400 million a day or something like that. It's some crazy number. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Anyway, thank you, Thomas Cleaver, for another sponsorship of the show. Thomas, if I keep making you angry, are you just going to keep giving me money? I mean, is that what the deal is? I'm not. Okay, thank you. It said, you're cruising for a bruising, bro. Okay. I gotta tell you, so here's the other thing, Thomas. I am gonna stop. No more. But look, man, we are. Lady Boomer and I have been talking about this for a while. We're thinking about taking a trip down under once the COVID nonsense is over, and going down to Australia and New Zealand sometime, like take 2 or 3 weeks sometime in the next 5 or 6 years. That's one of our bucket list trips. So I'm not making fun of sheep. I love me some sheep. Anyway, but not like that. Anyway, thank you, Good Fox 61, sponsor of the show, who says the big question is, how did the crew screw up so bad that they got stuck going straight? And Marty, that ship is over 400 tons. Also, is it 400 or 400,000 tons? It's more than 400 tons. Also, every hour the Suez closed, it costs $400 million. Oh, it's every hour. Holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy. Here's the thing. I read somewhere that there's it just depends on how the water's flowing through the canal where it can turn a ship off its course. And so I don't know. I'm not a whole thing. Anyway, man, you better let me show you around the west coast of Auckland. Hey, man, if I'm telling you, when we plan that trip, we're going to call all our friends from down that way. And because the best, you know what, my favorite way to travel or go to a town, I don't like going where the tourist guides go. I like going where people who I know live there go. So when we go to, we do this thing where if we just want to get away for a week, we'll just drive to some small town in Minnesota or in the region of Midwest here, and go, and we'll go and maybe go to a diner, have breakfast, and ask, hey, what's cool to see around here? And that's the kind of stuff we like to do. So absolutely, we'll be hitting y'all up. Anyway, thank you, GunFox61, by the way. I should thank you for sponsoring the show. Also, good morning, Lexi. How you doing? Nice to see you. And I think I got everybody who's Wikipedia snippet in the house too. Nice to have you here. All right. So anyway, if you want to read the rest of that article in the New York Times, it is there. I appreciate. It'll be in the news tabs. As you know, if you watch the show or if you don't watch the show on the regular, all the news articles that I cover in the show, at the end of the show, I put in the description right immediately following the show. I think I got to change this. So this one is, I have the old one here. Let me change this real quick. After the show. ... There we go. We'll save that. So anyway, it'll be in the description of the video, that the replay video. All right, let's see. Thank you, Thomas Cleaver, again. I'm not angry, dog, just disappointed. Don't be disappointed. You know I love you, man. All right. Don't be disappointed. Don't be disappointed. You know what? I love ribbing you there, brother. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So, and here's the other thing. Okay. So for all of you who are on the religious side of the Christian realm, yesterday being Palm Sunday, it was quite a jolt yesterday noticing that Satan was trending on Twitter. All around. So here's Satan was trending on Palm Sunday. Not a good thing. Great work, Internet. One thing that is just super about the Internet is that anyone can contribute to society in a number of ways. And by that, I mean the Internet was a mistake. Yesterday, Palm Sunday ended with the word Satan trending, and not because we were setting up the week we remember Jesus Christ triumphing over sin, death, and Lucifer. That's the design for the shoebox containing the new shoe designed by Lil Nas X, the American rap icon originally made famous for the song Old Town Road, you're gonna ride till I can't go on. His most recent work is an album called Montero, which, according to Wikipedia, is also his first name and the title of the single that dropped on Friday, Montero, Call Me By Your Name. In the video for the song, Lil Nas X, who is openly gay, awakens in what appears to be the Garden of Eden and eventually descends into hell via a stripper pole and gives Satan a lap dance. Fan-fucking-tastic. Anyway, it appears to be one grand trolling attempt against rap and country communities, neither of which are very supportive of homosexuality, as well as social conservatism in general, which is often rooted in religious ideology. This coincides with announced limited release footwear designed by him and MSCHF, a company that apparently exists to sell viral nonsense. The shoes, which bears the Nike logo, led the internet to believe that Nike helped in the development of the shoe, but the company has distanced itself from the project. And I would think maybe would be having a trademark infringement issue. We'll see. News of the shoes drew outrage over Palm Sunday weekend. Some critics slammed both Lil Nas X and Nike, but Nike was quick to distance itself from the shoes, pointing out that they're custom adaptation of existing products. We do not have a relationship with Lil Nas X or MSCHF, a kind of a mischief. Kind of get that? Did you catch that? Mischief? Nike said in a statement, Nike did not design or release these shoes, and we do not endorse them. Anyway, just an odd thing to be trending on Palm Sunday. Those filthy heathens, how dare they make a mockery of our faith? Yeah, it's just kind of weird, you know? It is what it is. Screw these guys. Anyway, 40 people in the house today. Nice to see you so far. The 24 likes. Hit the like button if you like what we do, and we'll keep going here. Let's see. I'm gonna kind of just go in the order that I got these tabs open. Now the theme of the show today has to do with this next story. Biden's talking about. Oh, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations. I absolutely need it right now. I'm just saying. So if you have a cup, a bottle, a glass, a mug, that Scott, what's his name? Scott Adams, the simultaneous sip thing. This would be a good time. So, Biden administration's working on vaccine passports. Yay! Where's this? Woohoo! I don't know why I hit that one. Maybe I should have hit this one. Because that's how I really feel about it. That could display a scannable code similar to an airline boarding pass, according to a report. Oh, yippee. Now, if you had read the new description I wrote too, so here's the thing too, and as Joe Biden would say, here's the thing. When I saw this, I was thinking to myself, now the government, it would be really problematic and maybe not even legal for the government to have something like this. But let me read the article first, because now you're going to understand why they're doing this. Hello, Francis Barrett. Nice to see you. Okay, so here's why they're doing it. James Colley, what's happening? Palm Sunday. Never masturbate on Sunday. I've never thought of Palm Sunday like that. Anyway, the Biden administration is reportedly working on developing coronavirus vaccine passports that would allow Americans to prove that they've been vaccinated, since some businesses have indicated they will require proof of vaccination for people to enter their businesses. And they can fuck right off. They will not have my business. Hello, TC Ball. The administration's initiative has been driven largely by arms of the Department of Health and Human Services, including an office devoted to health information technology, said 5 officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the effort. The Washington Post reported the White House this month took a bigger role in coordinating government agencies involved in the work led by coronavirus coordinator Jeff Zients, with the goal of announcing updates in coming days. Thank you, Marty, the other Marty, who said, I can say this. I told you so. I said they were going to do this shit, and soon gun control and gun grabs. This one might be easier than the gun control stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, the gun control stuff at least has to go through the Supreme Court. This is one of those John Roberts things where he'd be like, oh, well, that sounds like something that, would be reasonable and this and that. It's bullshit. Thank you very much, Marty, for sponsoring the show, by the way. Also, hello, my Mystic Forest 25. Nice to see you. And also, who else just showed up? TC Ball. I said hi, I think. No, there was another one. Who was it? Wikipedia snippet, you're here. I thought I saw another name that wasn't up there right away. Anyway, I'll figure it out later. The report said that a digital version of the vaccine passport would be available through smartphone apps. Oh my God. And could display a scannable code similar to an airline boarding pass. Developers told the Post that people should also have the option of printing out a vaccine report. The vaccine passports are expected to face significant hurdles surrounding data privacy and making sure that passports cannot be counterfeited. Well, here's the deal. I'm wondering how they're going to get around the law on this. What's that law called? HIPAA? The Health Insurance Something Personal Information Act, or whatever it's called. You'd think that would have a problem there. And also, here's the why are they doing that? And here's the thing. So, when there's a name for when governments and corporations work together to manage a population. Anyone know what that's the definition of? Anybody? First in the chat's going to get the bell. That's a definition. That is the actual definition, the classic definition of a certain thing that, anyway, one of the most significant hurdles facing federal officials, the sheer number of passport initiatives underway, with the Biden administration this month identifying at least 17. The Post added those initiatives, such as a World Health Organization-led global effort. Oh, yes, that's great, a global effort. You always want a global effort on lots of things like this. And a digital pass devised by IBM that is being tested in New York State. are rapidly moving forward, even as the White House deliberates on how best to track the shots and avoid the perception of a government mandate to be vaccinated. Well, that's how they get around it. They make it so that businesses, corporations, force you to do it. Gashism, fascism. Okay, who was first here on that one? Yes, Uncle Stepdad, you got it. Fascism. But, it's just us right-wing, Trumpists, Trumplicans that are fascist. I'm not authoritarianism, that too. No, that's the classical definition of fascism. When the government and corporation go to control, right? Anyway, it's funny that's their most significant hurdle. The sheer number of passport initiatives. No, the most significant hurdle is it's vaguely against the law and maybe unconstitutional, but they don't give a shit about the Constitution anymore. Oh, and hey, here's another good reason they like it. Officials told the Post that developers are working on ways to include how to use the apps to adjust for the spread of variants. Oh, they're really pushing the variants right now, and how booster shots would be tracked. Also, Chinese President Xi Jinping has been pushing for months for a global tracking system using QR codes to monitor people who've been exposed to coronavirus. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. You get to walk around with a QR code that you really don't know what's in your QR code, but you walk around with it all the time and you scan it at certain places that you have to scan it to be allowed to go there. Is this I'm sorry. I am not one of those conspiracy theorists, but come on. Tracking your movements. You need this. You need this article. It'll be in the tabs when you come. As soon as the show's over, I usually have it added to the tab. All my tabs, all these news stories, will be in a single link in the description below this video. So yes, this story will be there. Political report also noted that several legislatures have introduced bills to prevent discrimination for people with religious objections or health conditions that might prevent them from getting immunized. New York is unveiling the nation's first vaccine passport, dubbed the Excelsior Pass. I think they might want to concentrate on some other things, particularly their governor. Hello, MC.
Stop. Hammer time. Oh my God.
Anyway. There you go. Yippee. We're going to have vaccine passports. All right, let's move on. Saki says that I don't know why there's a joke in there somewhere. The Biden administration is also preparing for another COVID relief $1 billion aid package. How about we just let the country open up? By the way, Texas, which went to 100% opening, 3 weeks ago? Their COVID cases are down 41% instead of spiking like you would expect after 3 weeks of being open 100%. So that's a good thing. And holy balls. Anyway, so another $1 trillion aid package might be in the work. These people lost their damn minds. What's that saying? The new meme saying something goes brrr, machines go brrr, printers go brrr. That's all they're going, man. I tell you. Anyway, the Biden White House is planning to push forward with another massive coronavirus relief bill, despite having just passed and signed $1 trillion relief package, according to Press Secretary Jen Psaki. The bill's $1,400 stimulus relief is barely in Americans' bank accounts, but the Biden administration says it wants further stimulus payments as well as increased funding for health care and education. Oh, so that's how they're going to do it. Is that how they're going to do it? They're going to see, this is the last bill. They put in a lot of their little pet projects into the last bill. Now they're going to increase funding for healthcare and education. This is how they're going to do it. Printer go brr. Yeah, that's it. Two industries that received major handouts in the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. When the president advocated for the American Rescue Plan, he talked about this being 2 stages. This is Jen Psaki. Rescue, then recovery. What the American people will hear from him this week is part of his plan, the first step of his plan toward recovery, which will include an investment in infrastructure. Yeah, you know when he wandered off in his press conference on a question about guns and talked about infrastructure for about 6 minutes, as if the reporter that he called on in the order that he had on his little list to call them in that order might have asked the wrong question, and he stuck with the answer that he was supposed to answer to that question. Anyway, yeah, the goal is to collapse the U.S. dollar. It's going to if they keep this shit up. It's unbelievable. Biden is in fact scheduled to debut a multi-trillion dollar infrastructure investment bill later this week during a trip to Pennsylvania, but the president had yet to specify whether that initiative was also a COVID-19 relief project. According to Psaki, it may in fact be the first over several pandemic-oriented bills, all with price tags over $1.9 trillion, more than Biden's first bill. The major initiative is, and I'll be announcing it Friday in Pittsburgh in detail, is to rebuild the infrastructure, both the physical and technological infrastructure in this country, so that we can compete and create significant numbers of really good paying jobs. You know what's funny about that? So we can create significant numbers of really good paying jobs. Well, you might not have to create a significant number of good paying jobs if you didn't spend half your time killing a good number of really good paying jobs. And they killed a whole ton of decent paying jobs, and the wages that were going up for the first time in several years, the last 3 years, at least the first 3 years of that guy that, I don't know, rhymes with Donald Pump was president, the last president in the first 3 years of his administration. Wages rose more in those 3 years than in the entire 8 years of the administration before him. I didn't even say his name. What the hell are you doing? Anyway, this is frightening. It's truly frightening. How about just getting the country back together and let us who do work and do things get back to what we do best, and stop just throwing money at everybody. Because all you're doing is throwing money that we don't have, and oh my God, I don't get it. I really don't understand this at all. Let's talk about Dr. Fauci. God, he was kind of weird over this last week. So Fauci's warning. We're going to talk a little bit about the vid, and the Fauci juice. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Fauci pulling back on mask distancing premature. Really? Seems to be working out in Texas and Florida. But anyway, new coronavirus cases remain high. Kind of. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease head Dr. Anthony Fauci, the most vaunted, perfect, and just the most incredible doctor on the planet, never has said anything incorrect and is perfect. On CBS's Face the Nation said, oh, well, here, let's just listen to him. How long is this clip? 10 minutes? Hell no, we're not listening to this for 10 minutes. Said that it was premature to pull back on the mitigation methods of wearing masks and social distancing because new coronavirus cases remain high. I got to tell you. By the way, hello, Fight for Your Rights. I got to tell you. We did this all wrong. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving you medical advice, but we sure did this all wrong. If they would have just, I hear monkeys say this all the time too. If we just had protected the elderly, let the younger people get it and go through it, you'd have herd immunity probably a year ago today. You know what I'm saying? But no, we decided to oh, 15 days to slow the spread. Everyone's going to stay home. And at first, don't even put on masks. Don't wear masks, he said. A year ago, March 29th, a year ago today. Maybe not today, but a year ago, Dr. Fauci was saying, don't wear masks. You shouldn't be running around wearing masks. Now it's like, oh, now we have to wear masks until perpetuity. Excuse me. I shouldn't be belching while I'm on here. For perpetuity. Did I use that word right? I don't even know. Anyway, so here's a partial transcript. Margaret Brennan asked him, you've been warning all month that we are stuck. We are plateauing at high level of infection. You just heard that Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, we're seeing spikes. Really? Because in Texas, the cases are going down. What's driving these infections? Is it the new variants? Fauci says, well, hello, Kevin S. Masks are not gay. They're just annoying. And he was right. Oh, by the way, if you watch him anytime that he's talking, like just, he doesn't stop to talk to the press very often, but when he does, he's always fiddling with his mask constantly, just pulling it and turning it and whatever. He's always got his hands on his mask. So if he actually did go around someone who has this coronavirus, it'd be all over his mask all the time, and he'd just be breathing it in because you get it on your hands, okay? That's why you have to wash your hands. It's just like the flu. You wash your hands a lot, and you avoid people who are sick, okay? But he's always fucking with his mask, with his fingers. Anyway, Fauci's answer was, well, the new variants are playing a part, but it's not completely the variants. What we are likely seeing is because of things like spring break and pulling back on the mitigation methods that you've seen. Now, several states have done that. I believe it's premature because when I've said many times that when you're coming down from a big peak and you reach the point and start to plateau, once you stay at the plateau, you're really in danger of a surge coming up. And unfortunately, that's what we're starting to see. We got stuck around 50,000 new cases per day, went up to 60,000 the other day. And that's really a risk. We've seen it that in our own country, that's exactly what happened in Europe, in several of the countries in the European Union, where they plateaued and then they started to come back. And that's why we say it really almost a race between getting people vaccinated and having this peak that we may want to see. And we don't want to see that. And again, it isn't just the variants. Variants we take seriously and are concerned, but it is not only the variants that are doing that. What the hell did he say? And so she says the CDC director said this week that it is not the time to travel. What specifically is the problem with travel? Well, when you see travel, and what Dr. Walensky said was referring to this, and whenever that we see surges in travel, be that around the holidays or around certain situations, like we did over Christmas and New Year's holiday, the other types of holidays, you get congregations of people. Even if on the planes people are wearing masks, when you get to the airport, the check-in lines, the food lines for restaurants, the boardings that you see, how people sometimes can be congregating together. Those are the kinds of things that invariably increase the risk of getting infected. And that's what she was referring to. The travel phenomenon in general does that. Okay, so it's not the New England accent. That's what Fauci sounds like. He sounds more like Sephardic Jews, Anyway, so here's the thing. I gotta believe that there are so many people in this country that have already had it, didn't know they had it, and no longer have it. That's my hypothesis. And my hypothesis is if they suddenly went and tested random samples of multiple people, they would find out that a whole lot more people have had it than they know of. Because most people don't go and get tested until they're symptomatic. But if you look at all the symptoms, a lot of people get one or maybe one symptom or two symptoms and just don't think of anything about it, right? And so they're like, no, I don't feel that bad. I'm not going to go get tested, right? And so I'm guessing that we're far closer to herd immunity than they're even telling us, or they even think we are. And the other thing, this thing with keep going with the mask and all this stuff. How many times has he actually been right? Now there's another thing. Well, I'll get into the other article about him this thing when he was on CBS, basically, no, we need to keep having the mitigation efforts forever. Well, like I said, the cases in some places where they've opened up, like in Texas, for example, they just saw that the cases are down 41%. That's a good thing. Will it stay that way? Who knows? They just released a bunch of, well, I know you're not supposed to say this, but illegal immigrants that have tested positive, just released them into Texas. So I'm wondering what they're expecting, or they're expecting those people to go. More on Fauci, though. Here, I got to move this one because it's hard to see in this thing. Let me move it over a little bit. Also, they're trying to erase Trump from the memory. It's so funny. I get into arguments on Twitter let's say the vaccine, for example. There are people who believe what Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, for that matter, were saying when they came into office that there was no vaccination plan, that we weren't doing vaccination. There was nothing in reserve in the cupboards and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So I was doing a little research on that. And what I found was that, when we started doing vaccinations on December 21st, now I know Joe Biden was not in office on December 21st. I think it was the December 21st was the first day that they were doing vaccination for this. From that day until January 20th, for example, the rate of vaccinations continually rose significantly. And by the time they got to Inauguration Day, that week they averaged 800, the rolling 7-day average of daily vaccinations. By the way, thank you. Oh, well, welcome, Geno Gear, who subscribed to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. And good morning, Chef James, by the way. The rolling average of vaccinations the day Joe Biden was inaugurated was 891,000 vaccinations per day. By the following Friday, because I went through the tracker, by the following Friday, the rolling average of vaccinations per day was 1.1 million per day, because they were ramping up the number of vaccinations every day. More people are getting them every day, right? And then about a week later, Biden announced his big thing that they were going to try to do 100,000 vaccinations in his first 100 days. And on the day he said that, they did 1.6 million vaccinations. Now, if you do the math, 100 vaccinations in 100 days would be 1 million vaccinations a day. On that day, which he thought was such an ambitious plan, 1.6 million were done that day. Now, the rolling average was still around 1.2 million that day, but they did 1.6 million vaccinations that day. So 100 million vaccinations in 100 days, 1 million vaccinations a day. And then when they got to the 100 million vaccinations, and they did it in just about 60 days, well, guess what? 100 million vaccinations divided by 60 days is 1.669 million vaccinations a day. So basically, the day he announced his 100 million vaccinations, where they did 1.6 million, all they would have had to do is maintain that to get it done in 60 days. Then, when they hit that, they were celebrating like, oh, we exceeded our expectations. Well, the reason you exceeded your expectations is because you set the expectations based on what was already happening. Oh, but then you said, no, the cupboard was bare when we came here, and we didn't have enough vaccinations. We didn't know how to put it into arms yet. We didn't even know how to put it in the arms. Oh, you mean the syringe that was invented in the 1600s, Joe Biden? You didn't know how to put it into the arms? You moron. And then, so here's the thing. And so I got in an argument with someone on Twitter is like, oh, well, I mentioned that, yeah, we did. The day he said we were going to do 100 million in 100 days, that we did 1.6 million that day. She said, that was all Joe Biden. Donald Trump had nothing to do with that. Joe Biden wasn't even in office when this was put together. And it continued. Look, if the cupboard was bare when Joe Biden, Kamala Harris took over, and I'm going to say the Biden-Harris administration, because we have no idea who's really running the country. If the cupboard was bare, well, then there should have been a significant drop-off in the rate of increase of the number of vaccinations per day. Or in fact, there probably should have been a big drop in the number of vaccinations per day, because if the cupboard's bare, then you have to go make more before you can continue. And yet, as I looked at the tracker, there's a online tracker that you can, look at the rolling 7-day average. That rolling 7-day average continually increased up until today. There was no significant drop in the number of vaccinations. So whatever they were saying that, oh, the cupboard was bare, Trump didn't have any plan, we didn't have anything here, well then how the hell did we keep increasing the number of vaccinations? There must have been already something going before you got there for that to even be possible. So shut the fuck up. That was a little extra there for you. Hello, Jason Arnold. How you doing? Nice to see you. So anyway, Fauci joins the Democrats' push to erase Trump from the nation's memory. Quite possibly the biggest mistake President Trump made in 2020 was to trust Dr. Anthony Fauci. I agree. This is a opinion piece in the American Thinker. The career bureaucrat can be considerably largely responsible for the nation's confused response to the Wuhan virus that came from China. Oh my God, I just committed a hate crime by reading that. Anyway, his advice was contradictory and often wrong, and he proved to be a vicious partisan who worked to undermine Trump. Now he's seeking to erase Trump altogether by claiming for himself responsibility for the vaccine. Did you hear about this one? This is something he said over the weekend, too. From the beginning, President Trump relied on Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, where Fauci has worked since 1974. This was reasonable because Fauci's job calls for him to be the go-to person when it comes to infectious diseases, whether AIDS or Ebola. That doesn't mean he's good at it, though. In the late 2020, a startling video from the 1990s emerged showing Kary Mullis, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for Chemistry because of his invention of a polymerase chain reaction, talk about Fauci's dangerous combination of ignorance and arrogance. Mullis was an eccentric, but Fauci's behavior in the past year supports Mullis's charges. Fauci has inundated the American people with mixed messages and constant fear-mongering. Moreover, basking in the glow of mainstream media attention, he often says really anything like this, and here it is. Here's the one. I think this is it. Apparently Dr. Fauci has never heard of suicidal depression triggered by an economic collapse or people not going to the doctor because he has scaremongered us into staying home and not getting cancer treatment and checkup. Because he had the nerve to say this. Oh, wait a minute. Gotta wait for the internet to work at my house. And here we go. While I'm waiting, thank you, Chicago Mike, for sponsoring the show. Who says, who's running the country? Does the name Woodrow Wilson come to mind? Yeah, it kind of does. Can I play this? I can't play it from there. Doggone it. Come on. What is taking that so long? Anyway, Dr. Fauci says he can't think of any reason there would be excess deaths this year besides COVID. Well, first of all, there's not really excess deaths either. That's the other part. Anyway, Fauci had limitless pronouncements about masks. In the beginning, he dismissed them. Then he demanded them. Then he demanded 2 of them simultaneously. Then he talked about keeping them on people indefinitely. He was equally inconsistent about what constituted herd immunity. Eventually joined the World Health Organization in abandoning the traditional idea enough people develop a natural immunity that the disease can no longer gain a foothold, in favor of saying herd immunity can be achieved only through total vaccination. There are whole web pages dedicated to counting Fauci's constantly changing positions. In fact, I'll open that one for you. And on all things COVID, worse, Fauci manipulates science to commit fraud on the American public. No wonder Americans have fully concluded that Fauci is a self-serving liar. While Fauci talked in 2020, Trump got things done. One of the things he got done was Operation Warp Speed, which was intended to facilitate developing a vaccine for COVID. The Trump administration announced it on May 15th, although it had already been in place for months. And this is from, this is back when they announced this back on May 15th, 2020. On Friday, the Trump administration announced the appointment of Moncef Slaoui as chief advisor and General Gustav F. Perna as chief operating officer of Operation Warp Speed, the administration's national program to accelerate the development, manufacturing, and distribution of COVID-19 vaccine therapeutics and diagnostics medical countermeasures. Dr. Slaoui is a venture capitalist and formerly a chairman of Global Research and Development, chairman of Global Vaccines at GlaxoSmithKline, where he led the development of 5 major novel vaccines. As a 4-star general in charge of the U.S. Army Material Command, General Perna oversees the global supply chain and installation of and material readiness for the U.S. Army, including more than 190,000 military, civilian, and contract employees. Among its other objectives, Operation Warp Speed aims to have substantial quantities of safe and effective vaccines available for Americans by January 2021. Well, they got it done a little faster, didn't they? Now, Trump made good on that promise, but in Fauci's world, Trump no longer exists. It's all about the little megalomaniac. Dr. Anthony Fauci, this is from the Daily Mail the other day. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading infectious disease expert, appeared to claim credit for the decisions to quickly develop vaccines against COVID-19 on Sunday in comments that are sure to anger Donald Trump. Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, made the comment in an interview with This Is CNN for a special diving into details of America's pandemic response. Quote, "When I saw what happened in New York City," that wasn't very good. "When I saw what happened in New York City, almost overrunning of our healthcare systems," what? That didn't happen. And that's when it became very clear the decision we made in January 10th to go all out and develop a vaccine. We made may have been the best decision that I've ever made with regard to intervention, as the director of the Institute, Fauci said. Did you hear that? Again, he says, "When I saw what happened in New York City, almost overrunning our national healthcare system, and that's when it became very clear that the decision we made on January 10th, I'll just wait a second. Made it clear that the decision we made on January 10th to go all out and develop a vaccine may have been the best decision Dr. Anthony Fauci, ever made with regard to intervention as the director of the Institute." As if nobody would have ever thought of doing a vaccine, first of all. And second of all, I think usually the president gets that kind of, gets a little credit for that. Anyway, Fauci's remarks seem to gloss over the key role played by pharmaceutical companies in Operation Warp Speed, the Trump administration program to manufacture, test, and deliver vaccines to the public in record time. By the way, well, hey, let me get these super chats first. Thank you for sponsoring the show again. Chicago Mike, who says, man dies from COVID. He died from lack of oxygen because he was wearing 12 masks. That gets a... Oh, there you go. Thank you, Chicago Mike. And also, Mystic425, thank you for the Lincoln, who says, those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. Papers, please. Yeah, right? Oh, my gosh. Anyway, by the way,
China is asshole.
Just wanted to remind you that. And,
Come on, man.
I'm beginning to wonder if Fauci is all there. By now, he seems to be a giant ego that's abandoned any semblance of having an attached brain or moral compass. So anyway, did that ever pop up here? Let's see. No, it didn't. Something went wrong. Try again. Maybe my Twitter's down. I don't know. But there's the other thing. If you want to read the article that they linked. Oh, by the way, thank you, Mystic Forest, too, for sponsoring the show. That is fantastic. I greatly appreciate everyone who does that. Here's the article about Fauci's mixed messages. I'll just leave that up there. And also 5 times Anthony Fauci proved he understands science as a tool to lie to Americans. This one's a good one. This probably has the one about masks. Oh, singing in church versus protesting in streets. Yes, those are very different activities. Confidence in the UK's rushed vaccine. Endless double dealing and school shutdowns. Yeah, he won't be, he just won't make up his mind on that. Cloth masks don't work and Americans simply can't handle the truth. Anyway, you can read that article on your own. Don't know why that's not working. Are my notifications working? Maybe it's possible that article or that tweet's gone. Yeah, because my notifications seem to be working just fine. Anyway, thanks, Jack Cochran, for doubling up on the tweet there. Also, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. And the music's about to play. Thank you for the Lincoln and sponsoring the show through a YouTube super chat. Who said, Select a Boy says, when these COVID passports are supposedly implemented, will there be change? Yes, it will be Yes, will it be beneficial? Nope. I was reading that verbatim. Thank you, Select a Boy. I appreciate the sponsoring the show. And good morning, Zablay. Zablay is in the house. And hello, Bastard Beast, too. Nice to see you. All right. Let's keep going. I'm doing pretty good for time here today. I'm not dilly-dallying today. I'm just going from article to article, and I'm not going on rants too much. And it's kind of working today. Anyway. Let's see. Why did I open this one? Oh, this is the other thing. Oh, so look. So they're talking about these immunity passports with the scan code that you have it on your phone, or you can print them out. So now they're watching so now how you got those scan codes where they can just track where everyone goes and wherever you've been and if you've been inoculated. Gee, that sounds a little Big Brotherish. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Asian Research Directorate. Nice to see you. I hope nobody's performing any hate actions on you. So the other part the Department of Health, the Department of Homeland Security is doing is they're preparing to use private contractors to, quote, scour public data and social media to compile dissident citizens for watch and no-fly lists. Now, this was weird because if any of you listened to Matt Christensen, the Matt and Blonde show on Sunday nights, I was listening to the replay while I was at work this morning, and Blonde was flying somewhere, I don't know where, and airport security, she had her passport, and airport security pulled her off to the side and said that, they needed to, they had to check something, whatnot, blah, 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 whatever. And she was like, okay, why are you doing this? Am I, and she's like, am I is there some problem? There's some problem with my name and whatnot. And the security person was saying, well, no, we just have, see, the security person didn't say much, but almost implicated that, yes, there is something wrong that we need to pull you aside for, but we can't tell you. And then they let her go. And then the next time she went through that, they let her through going through Colorado. And then I saw this article this morning. I'm like, oh my God, is this what this is? The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is now getting ready to hire public companies, individual contractors outside government, to scour public data and social media in order to provide information for the new domestic terror watch list. Well, that's fantastic. From the description, it appears DHS is going to pay big tech companies, Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, etc., via contracts to hire and organize internal monitoring teams to assist the government by sending information on citizens they deem dangerous. What was I just talking about? When the government teams up with the government teams up with corporations to monitor and determine what it is you're doing. There's a name for that, and a lot of you named it in the chat. Yeah, it is Aurelian as fuck, cynical Lindsay. I agree with you. But good morning, Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer of the Morning Night Live. Glad you're here. And did I say hi to you, Lindsay? You've been here. I don't know if I said that. Thank you, Rod Line, sponsoring the show with a Streamlabs donation. Thank you. One of the true evil parts of this COVID passport is the government scheming to work with businesses so that they can circumvent the First Amendment. Exactly. It's exactly what it is. And that is, yes, Faucism. Yes, Faucism. Oh, my God. That is my new merch, Faucism. Oh my gosh, Kevin S. I hope you don't mind me using that. I am. That is it. I don't have anything to write with. I want to write that down. Faucism, dude. That is awesome. Faucism. Okay, we're using that one anyway. All right, so, gee, what could possibly go wrong, though, with this, right? Faucism. Oh, that's awesome. By the way, thank you, Rod Line. All right. NBC is reporting on these new developments as the U.S. intelligence apparatus is preparing to go live with the assembly of lists of Americans who could be potential threats to the government need to be watched. However, even NBC is beginning to realize the consequences. Quote, DHS planning to expand relationship with companies that scour public data for intelligence and to better harness the vast trove of data it already collects on Americans. The department is also contemplating changes to its terrorist and watch list process. Here's the article. This is from, I don't even know what this is from. Let's see. NBC News. The Department of Homeland Security, created after the 9/11 attacks to protect the country from international terrorism, is moving toward a sweeping set of policy changes aimed at detecting and stopping what intelligence officials say is now a top threat to the homeland: domestic violent extremism. Oh, yes. What could go wrong? I just, I got to tell you. What's this one?
You know the thing.
Anyway, two senior Biden administration officials told NBC News that DHS, whose intelligence division did not publish a warning of potential violence before the January 6th Capitol riots, oh yes, let's not let that go to waste, is seeking to improve its ability to collect and analyze data about domestic terrorism, including the sorts of public social media posts that threatened a potential attack on the Capitol, but were not deemed actionable by the FBI and other law enforcement agencies. Oh my gosh, it was, goodness gracious, it was a insurrection. Oh, by the way, I saw an interview. Some Congress critter, I can't remember which one it was. And she was on MSNBC talking about the Capitol attacks, right? And talking about how they were, this and that. But she said that there were people in this crowd of insurrectionists that were shooting into the chamber. Now, I have a question. Does anyone here in my chat, I'll give you a yes or no, a question, a one or two. If you have heard of any of those people who were in the Capitol riots, that they were shooting into the chamber, because someone says shooting into the chamber, okay, the word, she said she heard them, saw them shooting into the chamber, heard them. Anyone here, if you've heard of the rioters shooting into the chamber while they were in the Capitol building, put a 1 in the chat. And if you believe she is talking straight out of her ass, put a 2 in the chat. Because I only know of one shot fired that entire day, and that was the one that killed Ashley Babbitt by a Capitol police officer. But if you heard of people shooting into the chamber, put a 1 in the chat. And if she's talking out of her ass, put a 2. All right. DHS is planning on expanding its relationships with companies. Now, what's that line again? What do you call it? DHS is planning to expand its relationship with companies that scour public data for intelligence. One of the senior officials has said, really? Because I thought that my data at these, because listen to the companies they name. What are the companies again? Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, etc. Really? Are these companies allowed now to just willy-nilly give my data to the government? I might have to read these terms of services now. Holy shit. Anyway, one of the senior officials said, and also to better harness the vast trove of data it already collects on Americans. Wait a minute. DHS collects data on Americans? I thought that was against the law in the Patriot Act. Including travel and commercial data through Customs and Border Protection, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, the Coast Guard, the Secret Service, and other DHS components. Expand your thinking to what was initiated with the COVID model for contact tracing. Yeah, remember that? In your state, do they do contact tracing? All these every time you go to a restaurant, you have to give your phone number for contract tracing purposes. I always wondered about that. I should have been giving you a fake phone number. And you can quickly see how physical proximity to a rogue dissident, a person with wrong thoughts, aka a domestic extremist, can result in you being labeled along with that dissident. So let's say you're at a restaurant and one of these people on their list also happens to be at that restaurant. Do you become a suspect now because you were in proximity to them? Then overlay the effects of big tech to assist the administrative state with an electronic trail of your habits, contacts, phone calls, text messages, and internet patterns. And you become a member. Hang on. I have to fix this. Of the list. Remind yourself of what FBI contractors with access to the NSA database already did in their quest for political opposition research and surveillance. Then overlay all of the above and you get an alarming picture that is not something, that is not something to dispatch. Yippee! Woo! Aren't you excited about this prospect? All right, let's move on. All right, just some other couple other news items. Vice President Harris dodges an anti-migration tasks set by Joe Biden. Vice President Kamala Harris is dodging a Wednesday request by President Joe Biden to bolster the enforcement of migration laws in Mexico and Latin American countries. On March 24th, in a televised statement, Biden directed Harris to get the Mexican and Central American governments to forcibly block poor migrants moving toward the United States. Biden said, quote, "The vice president agreed to lead our diplomatic effort and work with those nations to accept returnees and enhance migration enforcement at their borders." At their borders, emphasis added. Biden said that Harris would work with the countries that need help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border, and added that it was a tough job. Well, on Friday, Simone Sanders, Harris's press secretary, redefined the request. Quote, "The president asked the vice president to take on the diplomatic effort with Mexico and countries in the Northern Triangle to address the root causes of migration," she said. There are many reasons that move these folks to make this dangerous journey. This is an amazing dismissal by a vice president. Yeah, basically dismissing that she was going to do what he asked. This is an amazing dismissal by the vice president of her president in a very public fashion, said Ken Cuccinelli, who served as Deputy Homeland Security Chief under President Donald Trump. I cannot ever remember seeing this happen before. It basically just blew her off. Thank you, GunFox61 with the deuce through Streamlabs. I appreciate the sponsorship here. He said, Gunfox says, "Yep, fascism. We got National Socialist Party all over again. Damn history repeats. Yep, I'm on the bad list. Hey, mother lovers, come get me. I dare ya." Thank you for making that PG-13. I'll give you a free lead salad. All you can eat, commies. I didn't say that right, but I was going to, hey, coppers, I'll give you a free lead salad. All you can eat, commies. There, I'll say it that way. Thank you, GunFox61. Appreciate the sponsor of the show. And then Cuccinelli said, Harris's avoidance of enforcement or any attempt to stem illegal immigration flow points out that they actually want large number of illegal aliens to come into the country. Their other legislative and executive actions make clear they intend to then give them amnesty and have them register to vote and ultimately, of course, to vote. According to the video of his statement, Biden asked Harris to do much more than Sanders' claim of take on the diplomatic effort. Biden said, quote, "It's our responsibility to deal..." Anyway, no, that's not what he said. Hello, hey, Mass Creation Broadcast. What's happening? Nice to see you. And also the Bosch Tubes in the house. Welcome, welcome. He said, "It's our responsibility to deal with the migration humanely and to end." Well, this is Biden, so I'm going to read it verbatim. This is a quote, so it may sound a little jumbled. "And to stop what's happening. So this migration increase has been consequential, but the vice president has agreed, and I appreciate it, agreed to lead our diplomatic effort and work with those nations to accept the returnees and enhance migration enforcement at their borders and their borders." This is verbatim, so just bear with me. "We're already talking with Mexico about that. She's already done that." Oh, has she now? "We're dealing with a full team now that we have been able to deal with problems here at home, but also to deal with it now in terms of in countries." Again, I'm just quoting here. "And I can think of nobody who is better qualified to do this than the woman who ran the second largest attorney general's office in America after the United States Attorney General in the state of California, and has done a great deal of upholding human rights, but also fighting organized crime in the process. So it is not her full responsibility in the job, but she's leading the effort. I think the best thing is to do..." Okay, I'm sorry. It's so hard to read what he says. "I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, people don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me. doesn't have to check with me. She knows what she's doing, and I hope we can move this along. So, Madam Vice President, thank you. I gave you a tough job, and you're smiling. Yeah, she's probably having that goofy laugh. And is this the whole thing?
Vice President.
Yeah, that's it. You can watch it. But here, she answered, well, thank you, Mr. President, and for having the confidence in me. And there's no question that this is a challenging situation. As the president has said, there are many factors that lead people to leave these countries. I look forward to engaging in diplomacy with government, with private sector, with civil society, and leaders of each in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras to strengthen democracy and the rule of law and to ensure shared prosperity in the region. Okay, she gave us a word salad, and then, but then Sanders said Biden had tasked the vice president with the diplomatic efforts to address the root causes of migration in Latin America. No, that's not what he said. He said they wants to help them mitigate the migration. And so Sanders said Harris had made a number of calls on the issues, but she did not plan any trips to the border in the near future. God, this is not work that will be addressed overnight, Sanders said. This is a challenging situation, as you heard the vice president and the president speak to, but it's diplomatic work that needs to be done, and Vice President Harris looking forward to it. She said Harris had also received a briefing on the Northern Triangle since Biden tasked her with the diplomatic efforts. You can expect she will be speaking with leaders from the region in the near future. Well, you know what? Whatever. And you know, Trump got cooperation from them, got cooperation from Mexico in stopping some of the migration at their border, and also having the people having to do their amnesty wait in Mexico, not here. And Biden just said, hey, come on in, baby. Come on over. Anyway, thank you, Scrappy Pirate, with the 556 through Streamlabs. I appreciate the donation. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Who says, every day I'm baffled at the sheer indifference your average person has towards these obvious abuses of power. I feel like I've been warning people about this for 8 years, and that's when I consider myself progressive. Holy hell. Yes, it's somebody is going to notice sometime. And it sucks is that they have information from people you've given volunteered information to, on the idea that your information is still your information and not and is private. It's just nerve-wracking. All right, let's move on here. Also, DHS readies. Oh, but and now DHS readies welcome for 800,000 family migrants. President Joe Biden's border agency are preparing reception centers to help a huge inflow of perhaps 800,000 family migrants this year, along with a record inflow of unaccompanied children and a growing wave of single men, according to media reports. Hey, I bet those single men are from all over the world. Hello, Drayden's. Nice to see you in the chat. The Washington Post reported on March 28th that officials at the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, expect, quote, roughly 500,000 to 800,000 migrants to arrive as part of a family group during the 2021 fiscal year that ends in September, a quantity that would equal or exceed the record numbers who entered in 2019, according to government data reviewed by the Washington Post. Officials are now racing to find facilities to house these families ahead of their release, along with additional staff to process an increase in humanitarian and asylum claims. Well, maybe they should just do more deals with some hotels like they did. Oh my God. The extra facilities are being used to provide legal advice and paperwork to help the migrants move permanently into American labor markets and housing markets. Wait a minute. Are these illegal immigrants or the kind that just kind of come on their own time? Hello, Mike Savage. Oh my good God. Anyway, blarg. You can read the rest of this. Yeah, it's just like, hey, come on down. Oh, did you see this thing when the this official from someone at the border patrol was trying to keep Ted Cruz from. Oh wait, this is not singing sound. Let's try this a different way. Oh, you guys, I hate to do this, but I have to do this. Hang on. I'll be right back. I apologize. Give me just a couple minutes here. Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it if you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show. All right, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had a little thing I had to do there. So anyway, Ted Cruz is at the border, and you can watch the whole video. It's let's see. What do they do with it? Oh, wrong article here. So anyway, Ted Cruz tweeted out footage of a heated exchange that he had with an alleged Biden official who repeatedly positioned herself to stand in front of Cruz while Cruz was attempting to record what was going on. When he was at the border, the alleged Biden official repeatedly barked at Cruz to give people dignity and respect, to which Cruz responded by pointing out that what the Biden administration was doing to the migrants was not treating the migrants with dignity and respect, which they clearly are not. And so they had this exchange. I hope I have this tuned right. Give me a second. Let's go to there. And let's see. This is
unaccompanied minors, kids. And just today,
oh shoot,
bigger, and they're more full. The Donna facility where that video you just showed was taken. The Donna facility is this giant.
Hang on a second.
We sent ahead
let's try
with
this
a
again.
Biden handler
Here we go.
sent
It's
by
right here.
DHS to stop them. You will not believe this. We are showing it to you right here for the first time. Watch.
Please give dignity to the people. Please give dignity to the people.
So you work for the commissioner, your senior advisor. You were hired 2 weeks ago, and you're instructed to ask us to not have any pictures taken here.
Please respect the people,
because the political
rules.
leadership at DHS does not want the American people to know it.
Please don't treat the people.
You're right, and this is a
as such.
dangerous place.
Please don't treat the
and
people
your
like
policies,
this. That's all I ask for
unfortunately,
you,
are
sir.
trying to hide them. I understand
That's
you
all
were
I ask
instructed. When 18 senators came down
please
here,
respect the people, give them dignity
I
and
respect them, and I want to fix this situation.
We all want to
and
fix
the
this, sir. We
administration
don't
you're
want
working
this to
for
happen
is responsible for these conditions.
So,
Senator Ted
here,
Cruz
let me,
led the
I'll
delegation.
clause that. So anyway, it's funny. So when they wanted to have respect for the people now that the Biden administration is going through this, what happened about respecting the people when, well, during another administration? Although they love to use pictures from 2 administrations ago and play it off as though it was Trump. But anyway, so anyway, yeah. So if suddenly we need to have respect for these people. So anyway, she went, let's see. Well, that was all that was there. All right, let me, let's see. I'll leave that open and then, or no, I don't need to leave that open. Also, but hey, guess who else is going to visit the southern border soon? Donald Trump. Now, I don't know. Now, you know, in my lifetime, usually, and almost it's kind of a tradition that when a president leaves office, they tend to not spend much time commenting or, you know, talking about the current president. And that pretty much stayed true. And kind of, well, I think Clinton did a decent job of not making comments about what George W. Bush was doing, I think, for the most part. But, and then really when George W. Bush left office and Obama came to office, George W. Bush basically disappeared for almost a full 8 years, other than a couple ceremonial events. Rarely spoke about President Obama. But then we had the true maverick, and I don't mean John McCain, because John McCain was never a maverick. The true maverick, Donald Trump, became president, and